Alright, this is a review for Gamer for LTA Movie Club. So, in the beginning of this movie, you don't know what's going on. There's a bunch of people fighting, and you don't know why they're fighting or what they're trying to do, but you notice some interesting similarities to a video game. But these are real people. How is this possible? And then you find out. This movie revolves around a simulated world with a bunch of characters being controlled by people. But the characters are actually people being controlled for the entertainment of their masters. And they make them socialize, violate each other, and kill each other. Now one immediately thinks, how can these people do something so horrible to somebody else? Well, I'm here to tell you. Aren't you glad you have me around? The thing about us as humans is that we can get ourselves to think only about the action we're doing, and not what that action means. So with a bit of training, brainwashing, or just indifference, it is disturbingly easy to just press the button and kill someone. That's what they do in boot camp. And it goes to the point when many of the players will have their characters do something that, face it, all of us do in video games, which is to kill the characters that aren't even fighting you. But like I said, face it, everybody does that. Everybody, like, throws a grenade at the civilian and laughs at him. But this is different. Those are real living people, not just a bunch of pixels on a screen. They just go ahead and kill a breathing, thinking person without another thought. That must make them sick, twisted people, right? Right? But the thing is, if you know much about gaming, especially on the internet, you know this is exactly the way a simulation like this would be. Everyone would just act on impulsive desires and not think about the consequences because they're just anonymous players, right? There would be people like the humongously fat, sweaty guy who plays the sexy female character in-game. These seem like crazy, terrible things, but I'd bet it's the way it would be. Because freedom and anonymity will turn anybody into a horrible person. And if you don't believe me, just take a look at any internet chat site ever. So, moving from the ideas behind the movie to the movie itself, the first thing I noticed about the movie was the shooting. Like with last week's movie, they shot with weird camera angles and bizarre movements. And combined with the twisted stuff that you are usually seeing on screen, it made the world very strange and sinister. They also did a lot of well-done animated parts with, like, computer screens and the news intro. They really look genuine. So, another thing about this movie, the teenage guy who is the player for the main character, as a member of the party in question, they did his character really accurately. By saying that, I've just insulted myself. Seriously though, they definitely understood teenage guys. So another thing, near the end, that dancing scene? Oh my god, creepy. Guy was quite a good singer, but I repeat myself, oh my god, creepy. It was just so strange and inhuman. So anyway, this movie's biggest flaw is probably the unfeasibility of the main idea. Because the thing is that a sort of human simulation like that just wouldn't work. First of all, it would cost an obscene amount of money to manage. You'd have to have a playing area, mind control, probably not 2 cents a pop, and a lot of people who would probably have to be paid pretty darn well to be subjected to something like that. At first you could do pretty well by just hiring the desperate people, but after a while, it just wouldn't work. And also, contrary to the opinions of the no doubt cynical people who came up with this idea, I think our human morality would catch before too long. The masses just aren't quite at a point where they would use someone's body for violent and perverse entertainment. Or at least I think so. Or I hope so. But overall, I think you can suspend disbelief about that, because it's not supposed to be a warning about something that's going to happen. It's a warning about people and what they can and will do. So I'd say if you want to watch something mind-bending and really get thinking, you should definitely watch this. You may well not be fully comfortable with the things you realize, but you really should understand them. However, don't watch it with your parents or in any kind of polite company, because this movie is graphically perverse and twisted. So, that's about it. See you next review. One last post-outro point. There's a guy being forced through a bizarre system by a shadowy corporation, and he uses the elements within it to make an escape. and then he confronts the leader of the organization in an attempt to free the other subjects. Anybody else thinking Portal? Seriously though, see you next review.